That was David Bowie with Life on Mars. It's Caroline and Ezra on the Evening Edition's Top 5 at 5. And moving on to our second story of the day, we're back on planet Earth because we're no longer taking a look at planets in outer space.
Exoplanets.
That's right, more specifically. This story takes a look at schools and how the Education Ministry has targeted by 2020 how schools nationwide will be upgraded with facilities for the disabled.
Yep, they're hoping that more private companies come forward to collaborate with the ministry to provide these facilities for students with special needs, right? And it's pretty much the basics, toilets for the disabled, pick up and drop off areas, ramps and handrails, those sort of facilities.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, these types of facilities, it's very, very important to create, I guess, almost an inclusive environment for the disabled and for those who aren't, and basically try to make it a little bit more manageable. Because we speak about this issue, whether it's for disabled access for public spaces, right? Whether it's malls and other areas that we head towards.
Yeah, but that's the thing, isn't it? So nationwide, beyond schools, it is very challenging. But I think with the right support, this particular target is doable. It's just 3 years away. I think it's great that it's on the agenda. Great that we've put a timeline to it. We can get the basics right with the kids.
Yeah. Well, with us on the line is Murugeswaran Veerasamy. He is the president of Damai Disabled Person Association of Malaysia. Thank you for joining us. And can you tell us, what do you think about this particular move?
In fact, I've responded this during the previous budget, where huge amount of allocation has been allocated for upgrading the school environment. Our request is actually to make all schools disabled friendly, not particular schools where they think that where there is a lot of disabled are living, staying there. It should not be like that, because disabled are everywhere. So in order for you to do a survey where is more disabled people are living, so that you can make the school nearest to that location, it is not practical. So we ask for them to make all schools are disabled friendly, so that all the disabled are living around that area can go to the school, and it will be easier for the parents to send them to the school. Because a lot of parents, they find it difficult to send the disabled child to go to school is simply because the school that have all these facilities are not located near to their home. A lot of disabled do not get the basic education simply because of this reason.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. But, we are in 2017. We said this a little earlier. It's something that we've talked about for years and years on end. Why do you think it's taken so long for it to be realized?
Yeah, that's a very important question. It's not that the disabled organization never highlighted this. We have been highlighting this thing from the day, I think, for so long. I think this is the time that I think government are looking into this thing seriously. I presume that is simply because we have an act that was passed in the parliament in 2008, that actually the provision clearly stated that all buildings should be made accessible in order for the disabled to go in and come out. Even though it's late, I will still welcome it, It is not too late. The main thing is for them to implement what have they said. The implementation part is very important. Another very important part is the teachers must be trained how to handle the disabled students. So a lot of teachers, they are not trained how to handle the special needs children. That is very, very important.
Yeah, and of course, that's something that's on a lot of people's minds. Maybe you can give us some insights on the type of training that school staff and teachers need to be able to properly assist disabled students. Of course, it's very much needed.
Yeah, yes, surely they need. A lot of people, the front desk people, the people in the counters, the people who are engaging with the disabled, they should undergo some kind of a training in order for them to learn how to even talk to them, I give you an example now. A disabled person who's sitting on a wheelchair will be in the a bit in the lower side, right? When you are standing, you're tall, right? So the view, when you look at him, and then when he look at you, so the view, it is not kind of a friendly kind of a conversation. But if there is a method of how you can actually maybe lower yourself to the level that, you can have an eye contact with that person, then it will be easier, and the disabled himself will feel comfortable talking to you. That is one example that I'm giving it to you.
All right. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us. That was Murugeswaran Veerasamy. He is the president of Damai Disabled Person Association of Malaysia. Damai's main goal is to help disabled persons to be independent.
Yeah, and I think, these sorts of efforts will go a long way towards perception shifts, right? Because if kids are accustomed to the idea of being inclusive, like you said a little earlier, it also means that it becomes part of their DNA, right? Future generations of architects, designers, they will be automatically inclusive.
Yes, and you're giving a lot of opportunities, especially at a very, very young age, for able-bodied and disabled students to interact. That changes, as you mentioned, perspective, but it also gives a lot more opportunities, because these are essential elements that we need to integrate into our society, and schools is such an integral part of that.
It's a good start.
We've got more music coming up right after these messages. It's BFM 89.9.